Hi, I'm going to talk about the use deodorants in airspray that damage the atmosphere. That it contains an CFS, that is a component named chlorofluorocarbon. That basically it doesn't damage the environment, but when it comes in contact with the atmosphere, it breaks down in the ozone layer. The particular part of the ozone layer that this ECFS deplete is what generally protects the Earth from the harmful effects of the sun, ultraviolet irradiation. One fact is that this molecule takes over more than 100 years before it becomes harmless. Another thing that contaminate the environment is the leave the lights on. That leaving a bulb on will damage the environment because the energy used to light the bulb comes from a coal fire station and whilst the light is on. Coal is burned, which release carbon dioxide into the air, which may contribute in global warming. My partner Paola is talk about some other ways to contaminate the environment.
Plastic bottles are a big problem of solid garbage. They represent a big portion of the occupancy of landfills. Besides, most of them are not recycled and then they go to rivers and oceans. Although they are created to contain clean water, they are made with petroleum and they might have toxic chemicals. According to El Mundo, to produce a water bottle that contains 1 liter of water are needed 7 liters of water. Besides, 100 meters cubic of faucet water costs the same as 1 liter of bottled water. About the oil that when you throw it by the sink, it's bad because when cooking oil are thrown by the sink, it goes to rivers and oceans, creating an oil surface that doesn't permit the interchange of oxygen in water, creating problems with fauna and river oceans. According to the Instituto Nacional de Tecnología Industrial of Argentina, 1 liter of cooking oil pollutes 1,000 liters of water. Um, about cigarettes, when you throw it in the street, most of them trash of urban areas are cigarettes and their grab of cellophane are toxic and dangerous. Cigarette butts may cause fire and when cigarettes get to the ocean, their toxic chemicals pollute the water, causing damage to animals. Most of them have been found in the stomach of birds, turtles, and many other aquatic animals. 1 cigarette can pollute 50 liters of water. And now my friend Fernando is going to talk about other types of contamination.
Hi, I'm Fernando, and I'm going to talk about the water. The tap water conforms less than the 1% of the whole water on the planet, and the way we use it is making that uh, to waste much water and search for other resources that is not the point because the only thing we are doing is wasting and wasting more water. Waste for wash the car, wash the dishes, wash yourselves, and that's not a good thing for us. Well, another way to pollute is the car pollution, and it conforms the 9.9% of the whole contamination in the world. And we think that now in these times is a necessity to use the car because the time to travel to another places is more comfortable uh, than walk and or use a bicycle, other things that don't contaminate. Actually, here in Mexico, at least there are at least two cars by each family. It's a percentage really high. Another thing that contaminates the environment is are the chemicals and the detergent. The chemicals conform the 4% of the whole contamination, and the principal component of the detergent is the phosphate. The phosphate produce algae, and when the algae die, this produce bacteria that consume the oxygen, and this is a very important thing for the living things that live in the sea and other and in the whole planet. Now my partner Javier is going to talk about the last three ways to contaminate.
Hey, well, I'm going to talk about like when we use a lot of paper sheets, but we don't use it correctly, because when you use don't use correctly a paper sheet, well, you're damaging the environment. Why? Because we all know that paper sheets are made from trees, and trees deforestation trees represents the 18.3% of all the emissions of carbon dioxide. And well, that's very harmful because they contribute to the global warming. Another way is peeing in the river, because when you pee in the river, well, you're contaminating that water, and also you're putting bacteria into that habitat, and well, the bacteria take part of the oxygen because they need it to survive. And if there's more bacteria in the river where the environment where all the uh, um, species live, they're going to have less oxygen to take from. And the last one is not um, putting away your organic garbage and your inorganic garbage. Why? This contaminates because if you don't separate them, well, the factories that take like PET bottles and inorganic garbage can recycle them, so they just make it more garbage, and that percentage could be lower if you separate them. And well, that's the ways we pollute and the definition of each way that we pollute.